Hello everyone, Marissa Hill here with Shade Studios. I have finally arrived here at South by Southwest for the film festival, and I am so excited for all of the films that we are going to be previewing, and specifically one in particular, Glorious Summer. I'm actually here with the two directors of this film and writer and actress. Hello. I'm just going to keep adding to your resume. We'll keep going with it. But I would love for the two of you to do just a quick little intro, and I would love to ask you some questions on this amazing film.
Hi, I'm Helena Ganjalyan. I'm an actress in the film, and I also co-write and co-directed it.
My name is Bartosz Szpak, and I'm the co-director, co-writer, and I actually did the score too. So
oh my gosh, and the score! We're just
adding
keep
to the
going.
roles.
My goodness, we don't need anybody else. We've got you two to do everything, right?
Yeah. It might sound cheesy, but
I love it. Well, so this is your first time at South by.
Yes.
How does it feel to be here? This is so incredible to have a feature film get selected for a film festival like this, very prestigious.
Yeah, I mean, it's really rewarding because our film is really chamber size, like in a way that it's really minimalistic, and it's got, not a lot of cast. It's shot on one location, and it really did have quite a tight budget, and it's really rewarding after all that, to actually be selected here for what it is, and that we really did what we wanted. It represents and reflects our sensitivity, I'd say, and to be accepted here and to be able to show it here is really something. It feels nice.
Well, and I love the entire storyline that the two of you have written. What inspired you to kind of create this interesting script where, for me, I think what I got out of it was just taking things for granted and taking the simplicities of life for granted and what life would be like when you're super detached from just all of the craziness that's going on. I live in New York City, so it's kind of like the polar opposite of this beautiful location. Where was it actually shot? It was stunning.
It was shot in Poland, although it looks like Italy.
It's
but
gorgeous.
Yeah, we found it. Yeah, I found a location on Instagram when I was like scrolling.
On Instagram?
Yeah, sorry.
I love it though.
I was like, we were doing back then a music video, and we needed location like that. So we did some research, and suddenly I found a photo shoot that took place there. And I was like, okay, this is it. Like, this is our place. And we shot that music video there. And then after years, we did a performance, like a stage play, that was for the Shakespeare Festival in Poland. And back then, it was kind of inspired by Richard III, by Shakespeare. Okay. That's where the title comes from, The Glorious Summer, because it's the first two sentences of that play.
I love that.
But then later on, we thought that, and it was during the pandemic, so we were performing it like once, and it was it.
And streaming via internet, so it was like not many people saw it.
Got it. Yeah.
So we thought that, well, like, we need to do something with this idea and that work that we did. And after a couple of years, we were searching for an idea for a film, and we thought that, well, maybe that thing combined with that location might be the actual film. So we started to work on the script. We took out the Richard part, like all of the Shakespeare from it, and we kind of changed it into that mindfulness, wellness world as a base of the system that they're living in, because somehow that felt really natural for our everyday life, that it's kind of fulfilled with all those, affirmations also on Instagram, let's say.
Very positive.
That's very
everybody's
positive.
all about positive
affirmations.
affirmations.
We won't say anything bad, just be positive. So we thought that, well, if we would look for the system that will be tempting nowadays, it would be that one, not the one that punishes people, rather the one that gives you eternal sun and gives you, everything you need, fulfills all of your expectations, just so you don't ask questions.
Yeah, it was very interesting watching the start of it because I felt like I was watching an actual modern dance performance. Are some of the actors or actresses that are in this, are they actual dancers, and are you yourself a dancer as well?
Yeah.
Because I could see that. I'm
Oh,
a
that's
terrible dancer.
That's
But that,
interesting.
I also dated
Okay.
someone who's a modern dancer. So
Okay.
that's
All right.
the first thing that I took from that. I was like, wow, everyone is incredibly talented, and they have to at least have some kind of experience in modern dance.
We did. We studied together, and it was an acting school, but combined with contemporary dance and dance theater. And that's how I met girls, because with one of them I was at the same year, like studying, and then the other one was 1 year younger than us. So like since then I wanted to work with them and to make something together. So
I could feel the connection.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
where I was just like, they've had to have performed at some point and sometime together because it was just too good. And I was thinking to myself, the flexibility at the beginning, there's some scenes where I'm like, wow, I can barely touch my toes. But
interesting
like,
that
where you
you've
cut that part? I don't want
noticed
people to know that. I'm going to work on my flexibility one of these days. There's also a really cool component to touch. It's a different kind of language that is really crucial to the storyline. How come you decided to kind of adapt that narrative and that, I guess, language into the concept of the film and storyline?
Well, we were thinking of how because like just to clarify this theme, the girls they do have some sort of secret language in which they communicate in order to to come up with this plan of how to escape this place. And we were just wondering, like, what kind of language could it be? Because what we don't show and what they don't know is that there's obviously some form of surveillance in the palace.
Yes.
We just know
We never see
we
really, right?
never see what it is. Are those like cameras? Is this just like microphones? And the thing is
So
that
use the showers kind of as an identifier of when the showers are on, you're kind of safe, right?
Because they're taking the sound of somehow.
Yes.
And then they're whispering and but the thing was, like, how do they perceive the surveillance? And we had I think we had this like idea, like they might feel that somebody, because they talk with the system and that the system is talking back, like they probably felt like the sound component might be the one that they have to get rid of to be able to communicate something between them. And then we had this some other ideas, like maybe just just doing like lip reading. But then eventually we ended up with
touch
with
language.
touch language.
Okay,
Just feeling
you have
they
to teach me some words here.
I can tell you.
What is this one?
This is again.
Oh, for two. Okay.
Again, because it's like repeating. So it's like again. So and then we try to be really cohesive with the language itself, because sometimes they say like this is today, but this is tomorrow. So like 2 days. Like this is the day. Like this, you tap once, but then if you tap twice, it's tomorrow. Like so, it's. So yeah, we had the whole like.
It brings me
thing
back
in
to elementary school, because I feel like my friends and we had these different kind of languages that we would create together, because it was our little clique, and we didn't want anyone, like the boys, knowing what we were talking about. It's just like, oh, I think this guy's cute, and we would have like our own little language.
Yeah,
but that was really cool.
It was kind of intuitive. Like we wanted it to be really from their perspective, which is kind of a childish perspective.
Yes, I did kind of feel like, I mean, clearly all three of you are grown in the film, but I feel like the dynamic was very childlike, as if the innocence was still there. You guys hadn't been broken by society, and I do feel like there was a bit of hierarchy too between the three of you. And understanding like the bonds and relationships and who kind of tells who what. How did you decide to kind of, I guess, you don't have names. So I was interested, even in the script, how do you identify each other?
That was a tricky part because sometimes we were even like writing the not the subtitles but the end credits. We're like, how the hell should
Right?
we,
Because I was just like, how do they know who's
Yeah.
who?
Yeah.
So we just used the first letters of our names. So yeah, they would say her. So it was
Yeah.
the only thing that I'm choosing her or her. So it was the only one.
That was the
And
only time,
That
yeah.
was the only time. And because, we were like, they don't need names because they identify themselves in a different way, like in their life. So yeah, and then like calling, redhead or
I
like,
know.
yeah, that wouldn't make sense. So
Redhead, you're like, huh, okay, never
yeah.
mind. Yeah.
so we just thought that they don't use it because their language doesn't need that, because they're just beings in a way, and it doesn't matter. They're not having their own treats in a way.
Yeah, and the whole like dynamic between all of them, I think it really did originate in the rehearsal process for the theater play, because it was kind of based like on your own personalities and like.
I would avoid saying that.
Well, maybe
She's
not.
like, is this me? In real life? Wait a second.
I don't know if Daniela would like to.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. No, but it's sort of like emerged there. It formed.
You kind of blended
Yeah.
It
a
formed
part of
more.
you into the characters and the
Probably.
dynamic, and you already had that relationship
Yeah.
before, which is nice. So it was very organic and kind of watching everything unfold. And as far as just the setting in general, this kind of mansion estate that you're in, what I loved about it, it was kind of modern, but then it was also kind of barren and industrial-like. You've got like broken stones in different rooms. How did you decide to kind of, I guess, make the backdrop and the setting work in favor of this storyline? Because I think it's very intriguing where, there's this beautiful table and setting, and then some rooms, like, where's the furniture at?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we sort of wanted this to feel out of space and time in a way, and that one of the things that we wanted to do is we didn't want this palace to feel like we didn't want the location make the film feel like a period piece.
Yeah.
So then we decided to add some modern bits,
Kind
like
of break it with really like modern elements, like the altar that they're talking to.
or the room where they get their food, which is like this.
Everything's very clean,
Yeah.
and
Very
very
clean.
monochromatic almost in a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Even the last scene, I just loved how clean the lines were, and just
Yeah.
the framing of everything in the
Right.
furniture was just very clean. Nothing stands out and detracts from like the setting and the state that they're in.
Right.
I would say the brightest color was probably maybe the swimming pool,
Yeah.
the kiddie pool.
The kiddie pool. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was actually our goal to, as Bart said, like to have it in between times and places in a way, and we really wanted to have like multiple textures and structures so that even if it's one location, that the viewer doesn't get bored with it, that you're kind of, you can see a lot of things going on there, even if it's just, that one limited space. Yeah.
And as far as the title, I mean, that kind of, I guess, exemplifies that we're going to stay in one season, which is summer.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that and how that plays a part in the storyline as well?
Well, we were looking for, coming from the title, which was Glorious Summer, we thought that, well, that's the most abstract thing to give, like to give you sun all the time.
Lots of vitamin D.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, like even that is, even that's for you ready to be, to give you that pleasure and that feeling of warmth. And we wanted to kind of present with that choice that really that system gives you whatever you want and whatever you need. And in terms of the visuals, it was also tempting for us that we can use, a lot of daylight, a lot of things that, the way that light works on camera, on film, because we were shooting it on film.
It's a timeline as well, so it kind of keeps the audience in the know of like, oh, this is how long they've been kind of in these different summers.
Yeah.
And they number that out in the notebooks and things like that. So it's
exactly.
a way for us to realize, oh my gosh, they've been here for a very long time.
Yeah. And you can see that there are more beds there that are
I saw that, yes. I was kind of like, what happened to the other beds?
Yeah, so you can feel that within that experiment, let's say, more and more people are
not making it through.
Not making it through.
For whatever reason.
Exactly. That's what I kind of like though about the film is it's very open to interpretation. And so you can kind of let your mind speak to what you think is actually happening. You're not really like throwing it in our faces. Okay, this is who's speaking to these girls. This is exactly the requirements. Because we do know like they have to abide by certain rules. And one of the rooms, it was quite interesting. I guess it has the most dark color scheme, which was one of the girls, I guess, kind of is not the most positive in a moment, and you can see that you're kind of punished in a way for not staying in line with that positivity.
Yeah. But that was also like an interesting part for us to research, like how the punishment would look like in that kind of world. So we came to that idea of silence, that this is the punishment, not like shouting on someone that you did wrong. It's like, no, we'll give you the space to, to make your own reflection on on your behavior. Yeah. So
and there's a dial where basically one of the other girls, has to do it. You have to do it, and I could sense this tension of like you didn't want to.
That was one of our ideas. Like, how are they punished? And there's like, we don't go into sci-fi tropes here. That there is like someone coming in there and punishing them in an obvious way. They have to actually do the punishment themselves, which is a punishment.
Yeah, and its
in
own.
Itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Everyone in a way is getting punished.
Yeah. And then that's where actually the problem of this whole world starts to come out. That it's we can all agree that this is quite nice, that it's sunny, that it's the wellness and all the food that you get and the wine. It's really cool. But if you want someone to stay there and actually enjoy it, you have to push him to do that and not to explore other emotion, and that's something that might not be the greatest idea. Because
what you explore at the end, it's kind of what do you value most, what's more important to you, your freedom and your free will. Yeah. But you don't get this perfection, So it is quite interesting.
Yeah, because basically some of the things that the system brings and are like pretty reasonable, like breathing exercises. This is something.
Reminds me of yoga, and you're waking up, right? Exactly. I was like, I feel like this is a yoga session that I'm having right now.
To calm the anxiety or whatever, or actually being so super stimulated by everything that's going on. Our news feeds or social media feeds being.
To wake up in the morning and to not have access to technology, it's just it's so crazy to think about. But a lot of us didn't. I mean, I grew up luckily not in this tech era, but this younger generation, it's so different for them. They probably would freak out if they woke up in a position like these three women, and it's like, where's my phone? Where is it? I need it now.
So it's not all necessarily a bad thing, but we just kind of explore what happens if you push this to the extreme, actually take away the choice, to experience all the other things in whichever fashion you find.
And death plays a huge part in this, which is kind of this terminology that's not spoken. This is something we do the touch, to kind of discuss. And it is quite interesting exploring, like being able to think and talk about negatives in a way, and how these women are kind of dealing with this uncertainty of this world that may be out there. And I think it was really cool to kind of see the framing of the lights in the distance and the explosions that they're hearing, and it's this kind of unknown world of, oh, what could be out there? And it's interesting in the writing too, where you're like, you're not breathing or having air, there, which was quite interesting. What is it that you want, I guess, the audience to kind of take from these notions?
Well, I'd say for me, it would be really nice for me personally if someone took away courage to actually take a step out of the, whatever you want to call it, your psychological wall or your comfort zone, but to encourage someone to take that step and to actually see for yourself what is on the other side. Instead of being told what is on the other side. I'm specifically referring to being like anxious and scared of some things that that were put into our head, and that we have to confront ourselves to see for ourselves if they are actually dangerous for us, and that gives you the freedom to see that for yourself and to experience life on your own terms, so to speak. That would be.
And like for just last sentence from me would be to really not be afraid of asking questions, and to giving yourself a place to doubt. That's good.
To have an analytical mindset of, there's systems at play sometimes, but maybe those systems aren't perfect systems, and you need to explore above and beyond that. I always called myself in high school the system worker. It's like, I don't need to go through this schedule, and I was always getting in trouble, of course. Sorry, Mom. But, I do love what this film speaks to, and I love to hear that you together are wearing so many hats and working on this low budget. I just think it's incredible to see how well films can be made and created in the indie space in general, and just seeing how high quality they are. And it really goes to show in the film world that you don't need a ton to make something great.
But I'd say that it is a shout out to our producers who I think this would not be possible without them giving us the space and actually doing a beautiful job of and actually us, like all of us, connecting also on a human level and feeling like, okay, I like you, we can like communicate and share this. And they really worked super hard to help for us all to deliver this kind of quality. So it's also a shout out to them, because it's not easy
makes the dream work, as I always say.
Because it's not easy for a producer especially to work on such a tight budget.
I know, this is the frustrating part as well. It's tough.
But they never asked, why do you want to shoot it on film? Like, why do we need that? It was never like they were just, taking what we thought is really important for the film and trying to, do everything that's possible to make it happen.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it was shot beautifully. The acting in it was incredible. The story was just really unique and refreshing and different. So I'm really excited for everybody to go and see Glorious Summer. Definitely one, if you're here at the festival, that you should definitely tune into. And congratulations again to both of you for being here at South by Southwest.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.